She was cleaning the floor when the rich man stopped, not to help her, not to see her, but to shame her in front of cameras, in front of the world. He looked at her old shoes. "You are nothing," he said. "You belong on the ground." She knelt, not because she was weak, but because she was silent. What he did not know, that ground was hers, and one day, it would rise against him. Subscribe for powerful stories. The city woke up before the sun. Cars moved like ants. Tall glass buildings touched the sky. Money lived here. Power lived here. In this city, one name carried fear. Adebayo. People said his name in low voice. Workers stood straight when he passed. Guards opened doors before he reached them. Mr. Adebayo owned many things. Hotels, land, offices, people's silence. He walked fast. His shoes shined. His face never smiled. Inside his hotel, everyone felt small. When he entered the lobby, talking stopped. Eyes dropped to the floor. Breath became slow. Fear followed him like a shadow. He liked it that way. He believed poor people were weak. He believed money made him better. He believed kindness was for fools. That morning, he walked through the lobby with his friends. They laughed loudly. They spoke about deals and power. Adebayo said, "Poor people are many. They are like dust. You step on them and move on." His friends laughed. Near the wall, a cleaner worked quietly. Her name was Zainabu. She wore a faded uniform. Her shoes were old. Her hands were rough from work. But her eyes were calm. She cleaned slowly, carefully, as if the floor mattered. Zainabu had worked there for years. She came early. She left late. She never complained. She never begged. Some workers liked her. Some ignored her. Mr. Adebayo never saw her. To him, she was part of the wall. Zainabu saw him every day. She knew his steps. Heavy, fast, angry. When he came close, she stepped aside. That morning, she looked up. She spoke softly. "Good morning, sir." Her voice was gentle, respectful. Mr. Adebayo did not stop. He did not answer. He did not look. He walked past her like air. Zainabu lowered her eyes. She kept cleaning. Inside her bag, something touched her hand. Old paper, folded many times. She paused for 1 second, then continued her work. Her mind went far, to a small village, red soil, a mango tree, a man's voice, her father. She blinked. The memory faded. In the lobby, Adebayo stopped near the door. He turned to his friend. "Look around," he said. "This place shines because of me." He pointed at the workers. "They are tools, nothing more." Zainabu heard every word. Her hands tightened on the mop. Her chest felt heavy, but her face stayed calm. She had learned silence early in life. Silence fed her family. Silence kept her job. She bent down again. The floor reflected the lights. It reflected power, and it held many stories. Adebayo laughed. He walked out into the sun. Zainabu watched his back. For a moment, her eyes filled with pain. Not tears. Pain. She whispered to herself, "Some ground remembers." No one heard her. The city kept moving. The hotel doors closed. And something old, buried under that shining floor, waited to wake up.
My name is Cairo. Welcome to African Tales by Cairo. Today's story is very deep. Please subscribe.
The morning was busy. The hotel lobby shined like gold. Big men walked in suits. Cameras flashed. Voices echoed. It was a proud day for the hotel. Mr. Adebayo was meeting rich guests. Important people. People who spoke money. Zainabu arrived early. Like always. She tied her scarf tight. She picked her mop and bucket. She began to clean. Her body moved from habit. Her mind stayed quiet. She cleaned the center of the lobby. The floor had to shine. People walked around her. Some looked at her. Most did not. A man passed fast. He hit her arm. The bucket slipped. Water spread on the floor. A small splash touched a shoe. Silence fell. That shoe belonged to Mr. Adebayo. He stopped. Slowly, he looked down. His face changed. Anger rose like fire. "What is this?" he shouted. Everyone turned. Zainabu froze. "I am sorry, sir," she said. Her voice shook. He stepped forward. "Sorry?" He laughed. "You think sorry cleans dirt?" People watched. Phones came out. Red lights blinked. "You useless thing," he shouted. "You smell of poverty." Zainabu's heart raced. Her hands trembled. She tried to bend and clean. "Stop!" he screamed. Security moved closer. "Get down," he said. "Clean it properly." Zainabu looked up. Her eyes met his. For a second, the world slowed. Then she knelt. Gasps filled the lobby. Some staff looked away. Some smiled. Many recorded. Mr. Adebayo felt proud. "This is your place," he said. On the ground, he pulled out money. Small notes. He threw them at her. "Pick it," he said. "This is your value." The money fell near her knees. Zainabu stared at it. Her chest burned. Her face stayed dry. She did not cry. Not here. Not today. She picked up the note slowly. Her fingers shook. An old woman stood near the door. She watched everything. She whispered, "The ground sees tears. Heaven sees pride." Zainabu heard her. Her eyes filled. But she blinked. She finished cleaning the shoe. Carefully. Quietly. Mr. Adebayo stepped back. "Go," he said, "and learn your place." Laughter rose from his friends. Zainabu stood. Her knees hurt. Her back hurt. But her head stayed straight. She looked at him. Soft. Calm. "One day, sir," she said, "you will remember this floor." The lobby went silent. Mr. Adebayo laughed again. "Get her out of my sight," he said. Security moved closer. Zainabu walked away. Phones followed her. Whispers chased her. Cleaner. Poor. Nothing. She entered the staff room. She sat down. Her hands now shook freely. Her breath broke. Still. No tears fell. She opened her bag. The old paper was there. Folded. Worn. She touched it. Outside, the city kept moving. Inside, something broke. And something else, quiet and strong, stood up inside her heart. Subscribe. Her pain has not spoken yet. The night was quiet. Zainabu walked home alone. Street lights flickered. Her feet hurt. People passed her. No one spoke. She reached her room. Small. Hot. Dark. She locked the door. She sat on the floor. Only then did her body shake. Her breath came fast. Her chest felt tight. She covered her mouth. A soft sound escaped. Still. No tears. She stood up and lit a small lamp. The light was weak. She washed her face. She looked at herself. The mirror showed tired eyes. Eyes that had seen too much. She changed her clothes. She sat on her thin bed. Her phone buzzed. It was her mother. Zainabu answered. "Mama," she said softly. Her mother's voice was weak, full of pain. "My child." Her mother said, "Did you eat today?" Zainabu paused. "Yes, Mama." She lied. She looked at the empty bowl. Her mother coughed. "Your brother asked about you," her mother said. "He misses you." Zainabu closed her eyes. "I will send money tomorrow," she said. "Please buy his books." Her mother sighed. "God sees you," she said. "Do not break." The call ended. Zainabu placed the phone down. Her stomach growled. She ignored it. She reached into her bag. She pulled out the old paper. Folded. Soft at the edges. She opened it slowly. Land papers. Her father's name was there. She touched the ink. Her mind went back. A village. Red soil. Tall grass. Her father stood under a tree. Men from the city stood with him. They wore clean shirts. They spoke fast. They promised big money. They promised more later. Her father trusted them. He signed. Zainabu was young then. She held his hand. She remembered his smile. "They will build something good," he said. "Our land will help us." Weeks passed. Money came once. Small. Then nothing. Her father went to the city. He returned, tired. "They will pay," he said. They never did. Soon after, he fell sick. Very sick. Zainabu worked small jobs. She cooked. She cleaned. Her father died waiting. The land was gone. The men were gone. The papers stayed. Zainabu folded the paper again. She opened another item. A letter. From a lawyer. She read it slowly. Her lips moved with the words. Her heart beat fast. The letter spoke of fraud. Of lies. Of land taken unfairly. It spoke of court. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. My daughter, an old voice said. It is the village chief. Zainabu stood up. Yes, Baba, she said. The elders met. He said. We found witnesses. Her hands shook. The land case? He continued. The court letter has come. Zainabu held the wall. Her legs felt weak. Your time has started, the chief said. Do not fear. The call ended. Zainabu sat down slowly. Her room felt smaller. Her heart felt bigger. Fear lived there. But something else lived there too. Hope. Quiet. Strong. She looked at the papers again. She whispered, Baba, I did not forget. Outside, children laughed. Life moved on. Inside that small room, a silent cleaner stood up inside her soul, and she was no longer alone. Subscribe. Justice is waking up. The night was cold inside the mansion. The house was big, too big. Lights stayed on, but the rooms felt empty. Mr. Adebayo sat alone in his study, a glass of drink in his hand. The walls were filled with art, gold frames, old paintings. None of them smiled. His wife slept in another room. She had stopped waiting for him. His son stayed upstairs. Door closed. Music loud. Adebayo stared at his phone. News filled the screen. A video played. His face. His voice. The lobby. The cleaner on her knees. Comments rolled fast. Cruel. Heartless. Shame. He scoffed. People forget fast, he said to himself. He turned the phone off. The next morning came quick. At the office, the mood felt strange. Workers whispered. Eyes followed him. Some looked away. A meeting room filled with men in suits. His lawyer spoke first. Sir, he said, we have a small issue. Adebayo leaned back. Small? He asked. The lawyer cleared his throat. The land from Oki Village, he said. The old deal. Adebayo waved his hand. That land is settled, he said. I paid. The lawyer hesitated. There are papers missing, he said. And witnesses. Adebayo laughed. Witnesses? Who? Farmers? The lawyer stayed quiet. Later that day, a client canceled a meeting. Then another. A foreign investor sent a short message. We will wait. The hotel lobby felt tense. Staff worked slower. Some avoided his eyes. Others whispered about the video. Adebayo walked through the lobby. For the first time, people did not freeze. That night, he returned home late. The house felt colder. His son stood in the hall. Why do you treat people like trash? The boy asked. Adebayo stopped. You talk to me like that? He said. They are human. His son replied. Not tools. Adebayo's face tightened. Go to your room, he said. His son walked away. The door slammed. Adebayo's chest burned. Later, his phone rang. Unknown number, he answered. A calm voice spoke. Mr. Adebayo, the man said. This is the court office. Adebayo stood still. You have been summoned, the voice continued, for a land case. A pause. The name on the file, the man said, is Zainabu. The phone slipped from his hand. It hit the floor, hard. Adebayo bent down slowly. He picked it up. His hand shook. Zainabu, the cleaner. His mind raced. No, he whispered. This is a mistake. He walked to the window. City lights blinked below. Power once felt solid. Now it felt thin. He thought of the land, the deal, the signatures. He remembered his own pen. The night grew quiet. For the first time in years, Mr. Adebayo felt afraid, not of people, not of money, but of truth. And truth had learned his name. The court building stood tall. Old walls, wide steps, many eyes. Vendors shouted outside. Cameras waited. People gathered. Zainabu walked toward the gate. She did not wear her uniform. She wore a simple dress. Clean. Neat. Her steps were slow. Her back was straight. Some people stared. Is that not the cleaner? One woman whispered. Yes, another said. The one from the video. Zainabu heard them. She did not stop. She entered the building. Inside, the air felt heavy. Fans turned slowly. Mr. Adebayo arrived from the other side. Black suit, dark glasses. He stopped when he saw her. His eyes widened. That is her, he said to his lawyer. The cleaner. The lawyer looked again. Yes, he said. And more. The courtroom filled. The judge entered. Everyone stood. The case began. Zainabu sat quietly. Her hands rested on her lap. Her lawyer stood. My client, he said. Is Miss Zainabu? Adebayo scoffed. The lawyer continued. Daughter of the late landowner. From Oki village. Silence spread. Adebayo leaned forward. Cleaner, he muttered. This is a joke. The lawyer raised a document. This land, he said, was sold under lies. He spoke slow. Years ago. Mr. Adebayo's company paid little money. Murmurs rose. They promised more, the lawyer said. They never paid. Zainabu closed her eyes. A flash filled her mind. Her father under the tree, sweat on his face, hope in his voice. The lawyer placed papers on the table. Today, he said, this land holds a hotel, a mall, and an estate. A gasp filled the room. Adebayo stood up. This is false, he shouted. The judge raised a hand. Sit, the judge said. Adebayo's face turned red. The lawyer continued. These papers show fraud, he said. These signatures were forced. He looked at Adebayo. Your company stands on stolen ground. Zainabu felt her heart beat fast. She opened her eyes. She looked at Adebayo, not with hate, with truth. The judge leaned forward. If this claim is true, he said, the owner may lose all. Adebayo swallowed hard. His lawyer whispered fast. Outside. Reporters waited. Inside. The case paused. The judge spoke again. This court will review all proof, he said. We will continue. The gavel hit. Court adjourned. People stood. Whispers grew loud. Zainabu rose. Her legs felt weak. Her spirit felt strong. As she walked out, eyes followed her, not as a cleaner, as a name, as a claim. Adebayo stayed seated. His world shook. The ground he built on had started to move. Subscribe. His empire is starting to shake. Outside the court, the air was loud. Voices rose. Feet moved fast. Drums began to beat. Women from OK village arrived early. They wore bright cloth. They sang slow songs. Their voices were deep, full of pain, full of hope. Young men held boards. Land is life. Justice for the poor. People stopped to watch. Phones came out again. Zainabu stepped outside. The crowd saw her. The singing grew louder. She stood still. Her hands shook. An old elder stepped forward. His hair was white. His voice was calm. When a goat is pushed to the wall, he said, it learns how to bite. People nodded. Reporters pushed close. Why are you fighting him? One asked. Zainabu spoke softly. This land was my father, she said. I want his name clean. The crowd clapped. Across the street, Mr. Adebayo watched from his car. His jaw was tight. His phone buzzed again and again. Messages poured in. His company name filled the news. Fraud case. Stolen land. Cruel billionaire. His driver looked worried. Sir, he said, the stock is falling. Adebayo said nothing. Back at the hotel, staff whispered. Some watched the news on small screens. Some shared clips. She stood up. One worker said, she is brave. Another replied. When Zainabu returned to work days later, things felt different. Some staff greeted her. Soft smiles. Respect. She still wore the same uniform. But the air had changed. Mr. Adebayo called a private meeting. Board members sat around a long table. Faces were tense. This case is bad, one man said. Very bad. We can lose everything. Another added. Adebayo leaned forward. I will handle it, he said. That evening, a man visited Zainabu. He wore a clean suit. His words were smooth. Mr. Adebayo wants peace, he said. He placed a bag on the table. Money. A lot. Take this. The man said. End the case. Zainabu stared at the bag. Her heart beat hard. She thought of her mother, her brother, their needs. Then she pushed the bag away. I do not want money, she said. I want truth. Ate another. The man frowned. You are poor, he said. Be wise. Zainabu stood. My father was poor, she said, but he was honest. The man left. The next day, the board met again. Their faces were dark. If we lose, one said, you must step down. Adebayo's mouth went dry. He had never heard those words. Never. That night, he sat alone. The house was silent. He opened an old file. Land papers. Signatures. His own name stared back at him. For the first time, the weight of his power felt heavy. Outside, the city lights blinked. Inside, Mr. Adebayo felt trapped. The poor woman he once shamed now stood between him and everything he owned. The court was full again. People filled every seat. Some stood by the walls. Others leaned near the doors. Fans turned slowly above. The air felt heavy. No one smiled. Zainabu sat beside her lawyer. Her hands rested on her knees. Her back was straight. She looked calm, but her heart beat fast. Across the room, Mr. Adebayo sat stiff. His face was hard. His eyes moved often. His hands stayed tight. The judge entered. Everyone stood. The case continued. Zainabu's lawyer rose. "We have new proof," he said. A low sound moved through the room. A screen was brought forward. Lights dimmed. A video began. Old footage appeared. Shaky hands. Dusty ground. Men in company shirts stood near villagers. Their voices were loud, sharp. "Sign now," one man said, "or lose the land." Villagers looked afraid. An old man begged. A woman cried. Zainabu's breath caught. Her father's face filled her mind. The video played on. A paper was pushed forward. A pen placed in a shaking hand. The video stopped. Silence filled the court. A man stood up. He wore plain clothes. His face showed fear. "I worked for the company," he said. Adebayo's head snapped up. The man swallowed. "We lied," he said. "We said the land was cheap." Murmurs rose. "We were told to rush them," he added. "To scare them." The judge watched closely. The man continued. "The papers were changed later," he said. "The real value was hidden." Zainabu clenched her fingers. Her lawyer lifted a file. "These are the true numbers," he said. Adebayo's lawyer stood. The judge raised his hand. "Sit," the judge said. The witness looked at Adebayo. His voice dropped. "You signed the final papers," he said. The room froze. Adebayo felt his chest tighten. His pen. His name. There was no escape. In the back row, his wife covered her mouth. Her eyes filled with tears. Beside her, their son sat still. His face showed pain. He shook his head slowly. The witness stepped down. The judge spoke. "This court has heard enough for today," he said. He paused. "This case will be decided tomorrow." Gasps filled the room. Tomorrow. The gavel struck. People stood. Voices rose. Zainabu closed her eyes. She breathed in. Slow. Deep. Outside, reporters rushed. Inside? Mr. Adebayo stayed seated. His son stood up. He looked at his father, not with anger, with disappointment. Then he turned and walked out. The door closed. Adebayo did not move. For the first time in his life, he felt truly alone, not because of loss, but because truth was now standing in front of him. The sky was dark that morning. Heavy clouds hung low. Rain threatened to fall. People gathered early at the court. They stood in silence. Some whispered prayers. Zainabu arrived with her lawyer. Her steps were slow. Her heart beat hard. She wore a simple dress. No jewels. No pride. Only calm. Across the yard, Mr. Adebayo stepped out of his car. His face looked tired. His eyes were red. He walked without words. Inside the court, the room felt tight. Every seat was full. The judge entered. Everyone stood. The room fell silent. The judge opened a file. He spoke slow. "This court has reviewed all proof," he said. Zainabu held her breath. Mr. Adebayo stared at the floor. "The land sale," the judge continued, "was based on lies." A soft sound moved through the room. "The owners were cheated," he said. "The deal was not fair." Zainabu's fingers trembled. The judge looked up. "The land belongs to the family," he said. Zainabu's eyes filled. She blinked fast. "This court orders payment," the judge said. "A large amount." Adebayo's shoulders dropped. "And shared control," the judge added. "Of the estate and hotel." Gasps rose. Zainabu felt dizzy. "The court also orders," the judge said. "A public apology." Silence followed. The gavel struck. "It is done." The room burst into sound. Some cheered. Some cried. Zainabu sat still. Her chest felt light. Her lawyer touched her arm. "It is over," he whispered. Outside, rain began to fall. Light rain, like tears from the sky. People clapped as Zainabu walked out. Women from her village sang. Their voices shook the air. Reporters pushed close. "Miss Zainabu," one called. "What will you do now?" She stopped. Rain touched her face. She looked at the camera. "I will honor my father," she said. Mr. Adebayo walked out later. No umbrella. Rain soaked his suit. He did not look up. He stood still. People watched. Some turned away. Inside the car, His hands shook. The driver waited. Adebayo closed his eyes. The city looked different now. That night, news filled the screens. Headlines flashed. Billionaire loses land case. Cleaner wins justice. At the hotel, staff gathered. They watched in silence. Some smiled. Some wiped tears. Zainabu returned home late. She sat on her bed. She opened her bag. The old papers lay there. Now clean. Now strong. She folded them gently. She whispered, "Baba." We did it. Thunder rolled outside. Rain fell harder. Power had changed hands. And the world felt it. Morning light filled the hotel. The glass doors opened wide. Sunlight touched the floor. The lobby looked the same, but the air felt different. People walked slower. Voices stayed low. Something had changed. Zainabu entered the building. She did not wear a uniform. She wore a simple dress. Clean. Plain. No gold. No pride. Staff noticed her. Whispers moved. "That is her," someone said. "The woman from court." Zainabu walked across the lobby. Her steps were steady. She passed the same floor. The same place where she once knelt. She did not look down. She walked forward. Inside the boardroom, people waited. Men in suits. Women with files. A long table stood in the center. A nameplate rested near the head. Zainabu, owner. Board member. She sat down. Her hands rested calmly. Mr. Adebayo stood near the wall. No chair. No title. His head stayed low. The meeting began. A lawyer spoke. "The court ruling is final," he said. "The land now belongs to Miss Zainabu." No one argued. Another board member spoke. "The hotel must continue," he said. "Staff depend on it." Zainabu nodded. "This place feeds many families," she said. "It must stay open." Her voice was soft, but clear. People listened. Mr. Adebayo said nothing. The meeting ended. Chairs moved. Papers closed. Zainabu stood last. She walked to the window. Below. The lobby spread wide. She remembered that day. Phones raised. Eyes judging. Her knees on the floor. She breathed in slowly. Then she turned. Mr. Adebayo stood behind her. His shoulders looked smaller. He waited. Zainabu faced him. "You stand here today," she said. "Because the court allows it." He nodded once. "You have two choices," she said. The room went silent. "You can leave," she said, "and never return." Adebayo's chest tightened. "Or," she continued, "you can kneel." Time slowed. Eyes widened. Adebayo looked around. Faces watched him. People he once ruled. His pride fought him. His legs shook. Slowly, he bent down. One knee touched the floor. Gasps filled the room. Zainabu raised her hand. "Stop," she said. Adebayo froze. She stepped closer. "This is not about shame," she said. She turned away. "Stand up," she said. He rose. Tears filled his eyes. The power in the room had changed. Not with anger, with control. Zainabu walked out first. Staff in the lobby watched. Some bowed their heads. Some smiled. "Good morning, madam," someone whispered. Behind her, Mr. Adebayo stood alone. For the first time, he waited. Not for money, but for mercy. The lobby was quiet. People stood still. Mr. Adebayo remained on his knees. His shoulders shook. His pride was gone. Tears rolled down his face. "I am sorry," he said in a broken voice. "I was blind." No one spoke. Zainabu looked at him. She saw fear. She saw regret. She remembered the pain, the floor, the shame. She took a slow breath. "Stand up," she said. Adebayo looked up. Slowly, he rose to his feet. Staff watched closely. The same people who once saw her kneel. Zainabu spoke again. "I forgive you," she said. A low sound moved through the room. "But things will change," she added. Adebayo nodded. "I accept," he said. "All of it." Days passed. Rules were written. Wages became fair. Work hours became human. A village fund was opened. Part of the profit went there. Staff felt the change. Smiles returned. Fear left. One weekend, a charity event filled the hall. Food tables lined the walls. Adebayo served food, not as a boss, as a man. Beside him, cleaners served too. No cameras, no pride, only work. Zainabu watched quietly. Later, she traveled back to her village. Red soil welcomed her. Children ran toward her. Women sang. She stood on the land. Her land. A small clinic rose there. Then a school. Her mother smiled again. Her brother held new books. Zainabu walked under the old tree. She touched its bark. "Baba," she whispered, "your name is clean." Back in the city, life moved on. Mr. Adebayo worked in silence. He listened more. He spoke less. Power no longer lived in his voice. It lived in his actions. One morning, Zainabu walked through the hotel lobby. Staff stood tall. They smiled. "Good morning, madam," they said. She smiled back. Her steps were calm. The floor shined. The same floor, but it felt new. The voiceover spoke softly. "Money can build tall houses, but it cannot hide a wicked heart. When you step on the poor, remember this. One day, they may hold the ground. You walk on." The screen faded to black. Subscribe for stories where justice always finds a voice.